You know how sometimes you walk into a place you've been like a million times, but you haven't really thought about it?
Yeah, happens all the time.
Well, today we're going to take that kind of closer look at something super common, the shopping mall.
Okay, malls. Interesting.
Now, I know what you might be thinking. For someone always hunting for quick, solid knowledge, maybe seems a bit everyday.
A little, maybe. But I bet there's more to it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Trust us. We went through this really fun conversation from the Let's Go to the Mall people over at English Podcast TV.
Oh, I think I've seen their stuff. They do videos and things.
Yeah, videos, quizzes, the whole lot. But we've, pulled out the core, the really fascinating bits just for our listeners.
Good call. So what's the mission today?
Our goal here is pretty straightforward. Let's really understand what makes a mall tick, what it actually offers, and maybe uncover some surprisingly interesting angles on these retail hubs.
Sounds good. It's easy to just see, a collection of stores. But when you start to look closer at the concept of a mall, what's really fascinating is how it reflects our needs, our behaviors, all in one place.
That's a great way to put it. So let's start with the basics then. When we say shopping mall, what do we actually talk about? What's the definition?
Okay, so the source we looked at describes it as basically a large indoor space.
Indoor, okay.
Yeah, key part. And it's packed with shops, restaurants, and, well, a whole range of things to do.
So it's almost like a mini downtown, but all under one roof, like a self-contained thing.
That's a perfect analogy. A small city under one roof. It's definitely more than just popping in and out of a few stores.
Right, because the conversation you mentioned highlighted that it's often seen as an experience, didn't it?
Precisely. And that's, I think, a crucial point to grasp. It's not purely transactional, not just about buying stuff. You might be there for clothes, sure, but you could also be grabbing lunch, getting a haircut, seeing a movie, maybe even just hanging out.
So that mix is really central to why they work, why people go.
Absolutely. It explains why malls exist and why they, continue to draw people in.
Okay, so speaking of that mix, what is actually inside a typical mall? The source kind of broke it down, right?
It did, yeah, by categories, which helps. Naturally, you've got your clothing stores.
The big ones like H&M, Zara, Nike, those kinds of places.
Exactly, familiar names. And then, of course, electronics. Think Apple stores, Samsung, those gadget shops you see everywhere.
Right. And it's interesting how those big brands, aren't they often called anchor tenants? They kind of draw people in for the smaller shops too.
That's a very good point. Those anchors are really important. They pull in specific crowds and really shape the whole feel of the mall.
Okay, makes sense. And then the food court. Just forget that.
Classic food court, yeah. You've got your McDonald's, your KFC.
But more variety too, usually. Like
Yeah.
sushi, pizza.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's often quite diverse.
Right.
A quick trip around the world food-wise.
Huh, true. And beyond just eating, what about fun? The entertainment side.
Right, the source pointed that out too. Movie theaters are pretty standard these days. But you also find arcades, video game places, and sometimes even like bowling alleys.
Wow, bowling.
Yeah, and that move towards adding entertainment, it's a really key strategy for malls.
How so?
Well, it shifts the whole purpose. It's not just about retail anymore. It becomes more of a leisure destination.
Diversification. To compete with online shopping, maybe.
Exactly. Online is purely transactional. Malls need to offer something more, that experience we talked about.
Gotcha. And it's not just fast food and fun, right? Some malls even have supermarkets.
They do, yeah. Which adds a whole other layer of convenience, doesn't it? Do your grocery shopping and pick up some clothes.
Totally. Plus, the source mentioned those other extras. What were they, like beauty salons?
Yep. Beauty salons, toy stores, banks sometimes, even spas.
Wow, spas. Okay, they really are trying to cover all the bases.
It seems like it, and it makes you think about the planning, Well, the types of businesses they include, where they put them in the mall.
Yeah.
It's all very deliberate. It's designed to guide how people move, how long they stay.
And probably how much they spend.
Ultimately, yes, it's carefully orchestrated.
So yeah, putting it all together, it really is about having, like the source said, everything you need in one place.
That sums it up nicely. Convenience and variety.
Now for a bit of wow factor. This is where it gets really interesting. Did you know the biggest mall on the planet is in Dubai?
Oh, the Dubai Mall. Yeah, I've heard of it. It's massive, right?
Massive is an understatement. And
Yeah.
get this, it's got a giant aquarium, like built right into the mall.
An aquarium. Okay, that's next level.
Isn't it? And a skating rink and even a theme park.
Wow. Examples like that really show the scale and the ambition It's way beyond just shopping.
Definitely a full-on entertainment destination.
For sure.
And shifting gears a bit, looking back, history time. The source shared where the first indoor mall came from. Any guesses?
The U.S., maybe? Post-war era?
You got it. Minnesota, USA.
Oh.
Way back in 1956, it was called Southdale Center.
1956. That's earlier than I might have thought. Southdale Center.
Yeah. Kind of a surprising bit of history, isn't
That
it?
really is. That place, Southdale, it represents a huge shift in, like, how retail spaces were designed.
How so? What was the big idea?
Well, it was basically creating an indoor, climate-controlled downtown. Think about it, perfect for Minnesota winters.
Ah, good point. Climate control.
Yeah, and it catered to the rise of cars, suburbs, people driving to shop. It really laid the foundation for the malls we know today.
Fascinating stuff. Okay, now let's bring it back to the practical side for our listeners, especially if they're navigating malls in English-speaking places. Our source gave some useful phrases, right?
It did, yeah. Really practical stuff for making the experience smoother.
Like, if you're trying on clothes, you need to know.
Where's the changing room? Yep. Fundamental.
Or, this happens all the time. Do you have this in a different size?
Classic. Very common question. These phrases really connect language to just everyday situations.
Totally. Knowing them gives you confidence. What else?
Asking the price, obviously. How much is this?
Right. And paying.
Can I pay by card? Super relevant now.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And maybe the most hopeful question.
Probably. Is there a discount? Everyone loves a deal.
Can't hurt to ask. So, these questions basically cover the essentials of shopping, right? Finding stuff, cost, paying.
Pretty much. It's like a basic toolkit for getting around a store.
Okay, great. So let's try and wrap things up then.
Sounds good.
We've explored how malls are these, large indoor centers, more than just shops. There's dining, entertainment, services.
All conveniently located.
Yeah. And they're a pretty big part of our culture, our economy. They've got history, some crazy, huge examples globally. Hopefully this deep dive gave everyone a quick but, solid understanding of these small cities under one roof.
I think so. It covers the essentials.
So thinking back to that idea of the experience.
Yeah.
It kind of leaves us with a thought, doesn't it?
What are you thinking?
Well, just a final thought for everyone listening. Given everything malls offer, the variety, the social side, what does their enduring popularity, even with online shopping booming, what does that really tell us?
Interesting question. About our needs, maybe.
Yeah, like our fundamental needs for convenience, sure, but also entertainment. Maybe even like a sense of community in modern life.
It's definitely worth pondering, thinking about your own experiences next time you're wandering through one of those fascinating spaces.
Exactly. Something to mull over.